This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the faucet.
We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, my name is Peter.
Yeah, I want.
Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on. He likes it. It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
That's right, Showtime Wednesday, and a beautiful Wednesday it is, because any day that we could all be here is a great day. How the hell is everybody? Welcome to Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday, like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast, God willing. And I'm telling you, I say it every week, but I can't mean it any more than I mean it, because I really mean it. You know what I mean? Gotta believe. It was last week was like a miracle. It was a miracle and a curse. Last week I was, for those of you who tuned in, last minute cancellation, so I had to turn things around, which is, it's happened before. I can do it. I did it. And then I sat down. I said, you know what? Considering it was only a less than 3 hour notice, pulled up some content, rewrote everything. We made it. And I said, the only thing I forgot, I went and I looked at my wrist and I said, I forgot my watch, which I almost forgot up until a few minutes ago. And I said, you know what? If I didn't have a watch on, and we were already going. It was like, too late. Don't care. I mean, it's not life or death. Show must go on, right? Talked a lot about that too. And then I said, you know what? That's the worst thing that could happen. Just forgetting to put my watch on. It's like, I'll take it. I'll take it. And then we did the show. Hour and a half. 90 minutes of Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show. And when we got through, I go, okay, not bad. I said, I like the flow. I think I put out some meaningful words, things to think about, share. Until that night, because I always watch our shows. After every show is done, I always watch our shows. I'm forever watching our shows. And then I watched the show, and the minute I saw it, it was giving me hell. It was locking up a little bit, freezing. Now, most people might think it's your system. No, it was on me. I apologize. But I could have lived with that. But what I can't, I work really hard to try to make everything that's audible kind of warm. We're still working on it now with the new room. I'm having a hard time. We got to fix a few things. There's some mid-range howls going on in this room. Well, I'll tell you, I talked the whole show because this lavalier, you can't see it because I'm black on black tonight. Isn't that right, Diana? So I have a little lavalier right here, a little microphone that for a tiny little microphone has a nice warm feeling to it, because as for those of you used to watch from years ago, I had a nice good sized microphone that was very warm. When I spoke into it, it would make your chest vibrate. There's so much low end in it. I like that. It's nice and warm sounding. But this one does a really good job, and I'm always flailing with my hands. And I said, as much as I miss it, and I do, I'm always considering bringing it back. Because, God, when I listen to some of the old shows, you can't get any better than that. I mean, it was as good as it can get for this voice. And then I'm listening to the show, and the show sounded like I was talking like this through the whole show. And it drove me absolutely bananas. And I'm going, how the hell can this be possible? Why would I be sounding like this? I never sound like this unless I'm doing something like this. But I wasn't. My hands are over here. They're not over here. Sounds like an AM radio. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my good time gal. I wasn't doing that. It took me 2 days, and I take this stuff to bed with me. I think about this stuff because my job is not only to try and give you something. Again, you'll never please everybody, so let's throw that right out the window. But if I'm going to come on the air and present to you, unless it's out of my hands, I try to do my best to sound and visibly look presentable. But audibly, especially because it goes to audio podcast too, and that's all they've got. I want it to sound good. And for the most part, they do. Even when it sounded like this, it's still better than some, but I don't like it. And then 2 days later, it took me 2 days, because I was watching the show on the big screen. When I put the earbuds in, because I was listening off of my phone, still driving me crazy, trying to figure out what went wrong. I realized somehow in the chaos, this is all digital computer stuff and different switchers and stuff like that. And I do have a analog, like an old time mixer where there's knobs and volume knobs. You don't have to go onto a computer screen. I hate this because you can't see everything laid out in front of you. And I realized that something got reset and the switch turned off my microphone, even though I'm hearing it because I hear it through the mixer, comes back into my ears. But the computer was hearing the microphone off of the MacBook Pro. And I heard the room because this room has I'm working on it. I'm going to have to do something about it because it's driving me real more crazy. I don't know why this room has a mid-range boing to it, but it does. Now, I know you probably don't give a damn about this stuff, but I'm just telling you that it takes a lot. I just had to get it off my chest. I feel better now. Hi, my name is Peter, and I'm an audioaholic. Just want to give you good stuff. We do have a great show tonight, though. I was going to all month long. I'm excited tonight because tonight, you know what I mean? I got my ass kicked last week, so now I'm good to go. We're going to have a great show tonight. Everything all the way around. And I got good stuff for you. But last week, I save up all month for certain current events and things like that I want to talk about. And last week, I spoke about Spencer Pratt, the guy who was from the hills, from the reality show on MTV years ago, who is running for mayor because LA, California, you name it, it's all burning and going to hell. And this guy felt the calling because he got burned out of Pacific Palisades. His house burned down and his parents' house burned down. I told you, I no longer live in California because of all the crap that's been going on. I can't just throw money at stuff. I'm not as rich as some of my friends. In fact, I'm not even rich. Define rich. Remember the days you said, God, if I had $1 million, it's like, when somebody says $1 million to me now, that's like about $1,000 to me. It just is because of how expensive everything is to keep up with the Joneses. Not even keeping up with the Joneses, just to keep up. I'm done with the Joneses. Although one of my friends' name is Jones, and I love him to death. But we don't have to keep up together. We're just great friends. And so when I spoke about Spencer Pratt, it really, really, dug in because I get what's happening to him. He never thought in a million years that he would be running for mayor because it's so bad that enough is enough. And he's killing it. And they're scared shitless. But I understand his calling because I thought when I was doing this show that I would never talk about politics, never talk about world things going around us, just news and stuff like that, because I wanted to just cover other topics. But it got so bad that I felt the calling. I'm going, I have a voice. I'm getting ready to somewhat split my crowd if they don't understand that I'm not here nor there. I'm all about common sense, and I'm sorry if it doesn't go in one direction or another. I'll call either side out. But it's been really chaotic more on one side of the fence. You know what I mean? And so therefore you get people that get pissed off. But I'm sorry. I just want a decent life. I want my child to have a decent life. I want my friends and family to have a decent life. And that's what's going on with Spencer Pratt. And they're going, well, he's got no experience. We're going to get into this. So tonight, amongst a few other things, we're going to dive in because next Tuesday is the primaries that's going to get Spencer Pratt in the running to go up against Karen Bass. Okay? He's going to wax her ass. They're scared. If by chance he loses, and I can't see how, the momentum he's got going, because people are sick of it. They're sick of it. And I can't blame them. I completely get it. When people finally say enough is enough, that's when things start getting better. And this goes for Washington, too. Both sides. There's a bunch of assholes on both sides that are just take. They're not looking out for our best interests. They've forgotten what it's all about. It's just a club for them to make money. When are we going to say enough is enough? It's getting there. It's getting there. So tonight we're going to talk about, I'm going to show you some more things because I'm sure that nationally, and this show is national and international, Vietnam is like, I don't know what's going on in Vietnam, but thank you, Vietnam. Me love you long time for watching the Peter G Show. I appreciate it. We're going to talk about that. And I need people to understand that are all over the country. It may not concern you because you don't live in Los Angeles, but it should concern you because this is going on everywhere. This fraud and all the crap that's going on, it's going on everywhere. It's been going on, and we just keep paying money and getting nothing out of it. And we've gotten so used to it, we're just dying. And they're trying to stop that too, but it's not easy. You're talking about a deep problem that they're not going to go willingly. So we're going to start with Spencer Pratt tonight because next Tuesday is election day. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big deal. One more step closer for new beginnings. California is a beautiful state, but it's out of control and it's gotten so expensive. That's what we're doing tonight. All right. As well as a couple other little things. Also, next week I have a guest. Next week I have author of the book Gripping Grace. Right here. Can you see it? I got glare. This is shiny books. Next week I have author from the book Gripping Grace in the Garden of Grief, Miss Marcia Earhart. She's a trained educator and certified life, grief, trauma, and mental health counselor. And she also has a foundation called the Sterling Rose. And she helps people through trauma and grief. And she's got a story of her own, too. And for those who, God knows, I know so many people, who are having problems dealing with loss, whether it's your family, parent, God forbid, I hate saying your child, which happens, and there's tons of it. I know. I don't even know. I can't put myself in that position, but she knows because she's lived it, and she wrote a book about it. She's got a foundation about it, and I'm telling you, I find that most of these people that have these foundations and things like this is because it's almost like drug counselors. They went there, and they survived it. So their calling was to help others survive, and God bless them because this is what otherwise there'd be no hope, because I can see how this stuff can take you into a downward spiral. So Wednesday, June 3rd, right here on the Peter G Show, author of the book Gripping Grace in the Garden of Grief, Miss Marsha Earhart. Again, she's a trained educator, certified life, grief, trauma, and mental health counselor. And she also has a foundation called the Sterling Rose. And we're going to talk to her about her story and how she survived her trauma and now helps others right here on Life of Peter G, The Peter G Show, Wednesday, June 3rd. That's going to be a deep show, and you're going to want to watch and or recommend, share with people that you know need it. I know I'm going to call a few friends because I have some people in my life that are still struggling, and I can't blame them, but you know, we're all alive, and nobody wants to see you tearing yourself apart on things that are beyond your control and taking yourself down. So join me next week. That's important, all right? It's really important. I'll tell you what we should do. It's, where are we? I'd say I'm taking it easy tonight, slow, but it's going to be slow and steady because it was such a friggin' mess last week that, I mean, I thought it was good, but then after that, it scrambled my brains. Thank God I didn't know it was going down the way it was going down. So I said, nice and steady, we're going to take it. I got some good stuff for you tonight. But before we get started, why don't we just check in? Because I'm kind of liking getting on the right foot with things. And then I got some, you're going to want to pay attention after this. But let's check in with Moon Mistress Tarot. I want to get my astrological forecast for the week so I know where the hell I'm going and what I'm doing. So I'll be right back.
Hello, my loves. Ready for a second chance at that thing you wanted? This beautiful May 31st blue moon is going to bring it to you. My darlings, this moon is going to light up what you already know deep down inside and then dare you to act on it. Let's see where it's going, babies. Oh, second chances for sure. Six of Swords energy is coming in. This is for my air signs, for my Geminis, Aquarius, and Libras. Yes, it involves travel, and yes, it's something coming through good. For my earth signs, how about a celebration? Four of Wands could be a marriage, and it could just be a celebration of something successful that's coming through for you. And that is for my Virgos, my Capricorns, and my beautiful Taurus, my darlings. All right. Fires, are you ready? Because there is a fire. There's the lust. There's that desire to make something happen. And that is for my Sagittarius, my Leos, and my Aries. Loving this energy, my darlings. And let's flip it. And there you go for my water signs. Queen of Wands means you can do the impossible. So for my Scorpios, for my Cancers, and my Pisces, you got this, babies. For more of what's going on this week with your zodiac, moonmistresstarot.com. As always, back to you, Peter.
Back to me, Pete. Thank you, Moon Mistress Tarot. I like it. Find out more about your astrological journey and cosmic connection. Go to moonmistresstarot.com. Let her give you a reading. Find out what's going on in your life, because life is important, and I mean that. Let's see what's going on here. We got, let's see. Diana says, Moon Mistress Tarot, are you a fan, Diana? That's good. That's it's all good. So you want to know what's going on in your life? Go to Moon Mistress Tarot. What do we got here? Pensacola in the house. Sent me a message. Uh-oh. Just send me. You sent me a message tonight? Audio, video. Video's locking up again? Son of a bitch. I can't do anything about it. I don't know what's going on. On here. Let's before I get going any further, I just want to check some stuff out. Wow. See, last week, and I was talking to a friend, and I'm going, it sounded like crap, and nobody's telling me, hey, you sound funny. You sound like you got a cold. And I would tell you if I got a cold. I would. All right, because if it's doing anything weird, no, see, it's not on my end. Okay, I can tell you right now. I'm just doing, while you guys are thinking I'm just looking at you, just staring at you, there's all kinds of things going on in the background. No, okay, so the fiber optics are good, so I'm gonna have to have a talk with the old platform provider. That kind of sucks. Well, okay. Thank you there. Sent me a message. Checks in the mail. And roll with it. Damn right I roll with it. What am I else supposed to do? Roll with it. That's what Lonnie says. He says roll with it. No other choice. It's going to be a good show, though. So that's why I'm really ready to roll with it. Maybe it'll level out because, like I said, I'm at least the audio, because I get so pissed off when it doesn't sound right. Just that way. But anyway, all right. So can we talk about some local stuff real quick? I want to talk about some local stuff, and I think you'll appreciate this. Again, even though it's local Gulf Coast things that I'm going to talk about, even though it's that, nationally, all this stuff still has something to do with, it all works out. It's not like I'm just catering to one area because it's all relevant. I guess that's what I'm, yeah. Yeah, I just got the memo. I don't know. Gonna have to have a talk with old StreamYard. This past weekend was Memorial Day weekend. I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend. It's we remember that it's even though people are having parties and this and that, it really isn't a party. It's to remember our veterans who've gave their lives and served in this country, so we can do that, and that's important. But here in Pensacola, it's on the beach every year. Every year, it's I'll just show you. This is from the Pensacola News Journal. Pensacola News Journal. Every year on Pensacola Beach, it's the largest LGBTQ plus MOUSE event held in North America for Memorial Day. Returns to Pensacola Beach with parties, dancing, DJs, lights, lasers. In other words, the beach gets taken over. I mean, people come from all over, east, west, north. There's not much more south you can come from because we're pretty much at the bottom before you hit water. But the largest LGBTQ community, from New Orleans, Atlanta's, Upper Alabama's, you name it, they come down here to party for Memorial Day weekend. The beach gets infiltrated. It's a gay fest. Not a big deal. There you go. There you got your pride pinwheels and all that. It's just a pride fest, whatever you want to call it. Even the bands, a lot of times, some of the clubs will feature all girl bands and stuff like that. All girl bands. I like girl bands. But so but I didn't realize it's the largest Memorial Day weekend pride gay event, or whatever you want to call it. Again, I got no problem with it. I don't care. It's been going on since I was younger. So no big deal. So I'm riding down the beach. Here, Lonnie, this one's for you. and a lot of stop and go traffic. I mean, the beach is hell. It's really congested, crowded, because it's Memorial Day weekend on top of it being another weekend. And this beach, it doesn't take long to overload. I'm driving down the beach and I'm riding. I got the window down and I'm just kind of looking around, getting an eye full, seeing what's up. What's up? And this girl, and she was pretty butch. It was like Stevie Wonder could see it. Okay, she was gay, lesbian, and she says, "Hey," and she asked me for some directions, and I proceeded to answer her, and she got all pissed off at me because I told her to go straight. Don't let her go straight. You're welcome. I didn't go to the beach. Yeah, it's too crowded. But anyway, yeah. So Memorial Day weekend, but it is the biggest gathering for Memorial Day weekend in North America. Go figure. I didn't know that, and I've been knowing about these, this get together every year for years, decades. Another thing I want to talk about, Pensacola, all of a sudden there's a lot of talk about data centers coming to Pensacola. And I can tell you right now that some other cities might be able to get away with sliding, their city commissioners and all this kind of stuff. Some other cities might be able to get away with sneaking one in. But the people around here, the South, I don't think they're having it. And I don't blame them. And I'm not having it because they want to bring it like closer to, like they don't want it like way far out. They want it like in Pensacola. And I already can see the commotion that's going on and the county commissioners and this and that. And all I can say to any of these people, these county commissioners and this and that, if you want to stay on and continue to be a county commissioner and all, best if you make them figure out an alternative way to have their data centers, about 200 miles away. They can go pound sand. I'm pretty sure majority of the people here who aren't getting paid off don't want these data centers in our town. So, how do you feel about that? You can write me, might even open up the phones, whatever, but we'll be talking more about that because we'll see how it goes because you know how it is. They keep saying, no, don't worry, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and then they keep on getting closer. They take another inch. They take another inch because the data centers are going to do all they can to get what they want. And the people in Pensacola are going to say, hell no. Oh, hell no. Termites, swarms. Termite swarms. For the life of me, I don't remember swarming being like I've seen over the past month and a half on certain days. It's not every night. And it only happens for about a month or two. But all of a sudden, they're everywhere. And I'm so freaking paranoid of it because they're termites. And now I did ask a couple of people, so I know it's not just me. These friggin' things figure out how to get into your house, and the next morning you get up. I was asking myself, is it just me? How are they getting in my house? You wake up and there's wings. My front doorway had wings on the floor. And that makes me paranoid because I'm going, they're going to get in the house. They're just going to eat the house up. I got enough problems. But I've talked to several people and they go, no, it's most people they get in, they find their ways and then they die. They're mating right now. That's why they're swarming and they look for light. They said, big tip, turn your porch light off. Look, I had my porch lights off. I sat in the dark. The minute I start seeing them, lights off, if I'm home, lights off. I put my infrareds, my night vision on. Till they're gone. They're around for a couple of hours and then disappear. But it's freaking me out because I grew up in this town. And for the life of me, I don't remember this stuff happening. Maybe I was busy. I mean, is it worse now? Everything else is worse now. Why wouldn't it be? Just wondering. Because this just freaks me out because I mean a lot. I mean a lot. They're trippy. They're stupid like little creatures at first when they're flying around. They're not like regular bugs until they get into your, into the wood. But it's just really weird. I don't know. So sorry. It just bugs me. Bugs me, get it? Bugs me. You're welcome. All right, so next yeah. Should I do this? Yeah, I think it's time to roll this out. Excuse me, Inhale, exhale. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, just two more little things. And right? Oh no, I was supposed to do that after. See, I'm changing things around. I can't even follow my own friggin' directions. Go figure. But let me take a little 1 minute break here, and then we'll go on to the next thing. But this is I think this is important. I think it's really important actually. So here, bear with me. There we go. I'll be right back. Hey, you're gonna like this.
Hey y'all, have you checked out Peter G's new book entitled Knowing When to Shut the Fuck Up? Oh yeah, this is the mother of all books. Everything just clicks. It's this no-nonsense approach that digs into moments we all face, but don't know how to handle. The book's mix of humor and hard truth makes it a go-to read and helps you or someone you know save face by learning when to shut the fuck up. Peter G breaks down real-life scenarios, offering practical advice in a relatable way. Perfect for those big-time, I wish they'd shut the fuck up moments. Peter G's book, Knowing When to Shut the Fuck Up, doesn't hold back, and for good reason. Now that's what I'm talking about.
Let us help you with the high price of fuel. Hello, I'm Ty Thompson at CleanStarProducts.com. We can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Here's how. Our program works the same with gasoline and diesel engines. Whether you're using a car pack or SUV pack, the instructions are the same. Add 1 bottle to your engine oil, and each time you change your oil, add 1 bottle to the fuel tank each and every fuel fill-up. It's that easy. You get 10% fuel economy on average, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. DX1 sells for $2 an ounce, so for just a few dollars a fuel tank, you can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Come on, give it a try. It's the finest green grade oil in the world from a California environmental company. You're gonna feel it when you drive. Order online today, we'll get it out right away. CleanStarProducts.com/shop.
That's right, CleanStarProducts.com. Wouldn't have believed it until I tried it myself. This little itty bitty bottle right here. This takes care of your average 4-door sedan. It really does. Just pour 1 into a clean oil change, and then last the whole oil change. What's your oil? You change it every 5,000 miles on average on your regular American car. It's that simple. When you fill up your tank with gas, you put one of these bottles into your tank and drive. It's that simple. I can't say it enough. It's that simple. I noticed the difference within about 3 or 4 tanks of fuel. My high mileage V8 was a lot peppier and running a lot better, and I was starting to get better gas miles because you can tell. You just know. If you drive your car enough, you know how it reacts. But hey, listen, don't believe me. All right, go to their website, www.cleanstarproducts. They got all the information there, but what I really want to do is there's a phone number down bottom or on the website, 310-200-8931. Call them because they want to talk to you personally because they'll answer all your questions. Everybody's got a custom question they want to ask. But here's the deal. Again, should you decide to order, this is why you got to call because you mentioned you saw it on the Peter G Show. They will send you 5 bottles for the price of 4, and that's a deal. 5 bottles for the price of 4, which makes a perfect starter kit, folks. Gather around. You put 1 in the clean oil change, and that gives you 4 tanks of fuel to add DX1 driver to. You will notice the difference, especially, like I said, your high mileage vehicles. And let's face it, repairs are expensive. I'd rather spend a couple of dollars on something like this that I know works than when it's too late and I got to go to a mechanic and spend thousands of dollars. There's no more 50, a couple of $100. You don't even get your car scanned for under $300. Okay. And they don't fix, they don't repair, they replace nowadays. So it's really expensive. Good food, good body. So call that number, tell them you saw it on the Peter G Show. They'll send you 5 bottles for the price of 4. And I don't think you'll go wrong because, again, cars are expensive. Gas is expensive right now. It's going to go down. I'm not worried about that part of it. But it's still, why not take care of your car? Good food, good body. It's the best way I can explain it to you. So give them a call. Tell them you saw it on the Peter G Show. They'll be glad that they heard that, and they will take care of you, all right? There you go. And just wanted to remind everybody that you can find Knowing When to Shut the Fuck Up, available in where fine books are sold. Said it before, I'll say it again. That phrase has a lot of meaning to it. And we're going to do something right now as we dive into this whole Spencer Pratt for LA Mayor thing. And you're going to see how other people use the same phrase because it has so much meaning. But before we play that last video, I say that we take a quick sip because it's going to get exciting now. So buckle up. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Here's to... smooth, all right? Smooth. I appreciate you guys. Please share. That's the best thing you can do for me, regardless of technical difficulties or whatever. Shows go on. It's over 400 Peter G shows online. You can find them pretty much everywhere. And audio podcasts, the same thing. I know people are still driving home from work and on the West Coast. Put an earbud in your ear. You can Google Peter G Show podcast and just take the audio version. There's, again, pick whatever topic you want to hear. I got a million of them almost, all kinds of things. But tonight we're talking up to date. This is something that's going on right now, and it's all about that Spencer Pratt stuff because he is exploding. I mean, it's just crazy how he said he'd go for it, and he's going to go for it. And let me reintroduce for those of you one more time. For those of you who don't know who Spencer Pratt is, Spencer Pratt was on some show on MTV back in the early 2000s. It was a reality show called The Hills. He was a young guy, and I guess maybe he was the villain or whatever, but it was many, many years ago. And he lived in the Pacific Palisades of California. His house burned down. I guess his parents lived in the Pacific Palisades as well. Their house burned down. His friends, everybody's houses, 7,000 houses burned down. Okay. LA has been going to hell in a handbasket, daily. Well, Karen Bass is a crappy, a socialist Democrat mayor, or basically just say communist. I mean, they're running this city into the ground. You can say what you want. For those of you that are going to stick up for her, fine. Have at it. The proof is in the pudding. So Spencer Pratt had enough. I mean, the fires, the money's being swindled. They raised that fire aid. They had the concerts. Where'd the money go? I'm about to play some things for you that you're going to see what's going on. And this guy is decided if they can't fix this town, he's going to run for mayor. And he's running for mayor. And I'm telling you, he is on fire right now. I don't mean that in a bad way with LA and all that. He's just killing it. And people are getting behind him because it can't get much worse. So here's a little introduction of Spencer Pratt to get you, so you can hear more about him. And I'm going to let you get used to it because next Tuesday, June 2nd, is the primaries. And this is going to make or break the difference for him being able to run for mayor. So I think it's really important and something that we need to pay attention to because lots of cities in this country are going to hell. And it's time for people to take over and go, this is enough. We got to get ourselves back to normal. If you have children, we want safe schools, safe cities, and these drugs and all, what's going on. You don't have to. I mean, open your eyes. Even the news can't hide it. So check this out, and then we'll go from there. This is Joe Rogan talking to Spencer Pratt because he's all over the place now. I'm telling you, his campaign is just friggin' amazing. Just amazing. Here you go.
I think they really are underestimating how angry everybody is because there's people that I talk to that used to be just hardcore Democrats, hardcore leftist progressives that are really saying, like in hushed tones, we really need a Republican. We really need like some no-nonsense Rudy Giuliani person. I hate to say that. I hate to say it, but that's what we need. We need someone who's going to be really tough on crime and clean everything up and stop all these people from having tents on the street. There's so many people like that that are just quiet about it. They don't want to talk about it openly and publicly because they're afraid of being shamed.
I grew up in Palisades. I went to Crossroads High School. I don't think I've ever met a Republican. No, I mean, for real, like right. All the people I know, all my family and friends, everybody I know is a Democrat. And all the people that are supporting me, all the people I talk to, they're Democrats. This is not the Democrat Party that's running LA. The other day I posted the commandment list of, I think it was 1996, Bill Clinton's Democratic Party. It looks like what I would say right now.
Yeah.
That's the Democrat. No, this is socialism. This is communist. This is cartel. This is mafia. Yeah. This is not. Democrats love me. They want all the same things. They want to feel safe.
It's really amazing how they can hide it by just pretending to be compassionate. They can hide all this money that they're just siphoning off because it really is just organized crime.
Well, they say to people, "There's nothing we can do." That's why people will be in my comments section be like, there's nothing you can do. It's like they are so good at just keeping this. These people have rights. First off, it is illegal. This is blow people's mind. It's illegal to live on the sidewalk.
Right.
That's a Democrat law. All the laws I want to enforce are Democrat laws. I am the Democrat law enforcer, Mayor. I should be every day. I'm actually excited because I finally feel like there's like hope, because when your house burns down and your mom's crying because her house burned down every single day, everyone you know's house burned down, you go through a dark, just all my tax money. Like, I should be a millionaire, because I got some big checks. People always say, oh, he burned all of his money. They don't understand living in LA in the entertainment business with a manager, an agent, a business manager, your taxes in LA, your state taxes. It's very hard to keep all that money. So they're like, oh, he burned regardless, the amount of money I put in to the city of LA and the state, my house should still be here. So it's very sad moment. And then you start uncovering, oh no, this is almost strategic. A lot of people reached out after with the Lahaina and they're like, oh, they Lahaina'd you. This is a land grab. And I was like, no. And then you start going down, you're like, I'm not even arguing with these people anymore because of how the writing was so on the wall. It's so on the wall, the entire insurance industry dropped everyone in the Palisades leading up to the fire. It was that flagrant. There were 70-year-old people, 70-year-old plus. I talked to 80-year-olds that got dropped by their insurance January 1st, been paying 40 plus years, didn't even get to re-up, lost everything, no insurance. If all the insurance companies are dropping an area, it's very clear that they know what's about to happen. So your city leaders, your mayor, everybody, your state, they should be getting ready or saying, oh, wow, everyone's dropping this. Right. What can we do? Oh, we need to clear the dead brush. We need to make the water in the reservoirs there. Just obvious things. So I don't even argue with the land grab things, because here's a crazy thing that I never did the math for. This hurts. So your house burns down. You lost everything. Now you got to buy stuff over again. Now you're paying the city sales tax. So the people who just let your house burn down, now you're giving them tax to rebuy underwear, rebuy shoes, So they're making money now off of your house burning down. Not to mention, you got to start buying things to actually, maybe if you're lucky, not only 14 people in 15 months have built a house. So
it's only 14 people have built a new house.
Let's max out at 16 just to be like, oh no, it's 16. He's a misinformation. Yeah, like it's
less than 20.
Yeah, less than 20 and 15
which is crazy.
Plus.
And how many houses burnt down?
7,000. Wow. So now you got the sales tax.
God, that's so crazy. That's such a crazy number. 7,000 houses is so crazy.
It is crazy. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I want you to get used to hear what Spencer Pratt's got to say, because he dug in deep and he gathered all the facts, and he's well armed. And when he faces off with Mayor Karen Bass, the communist, all she does is smile with that smirk on her face and lie through her teeth, trying to make up excuses. It's the biggest. It's just horrible. And on top of that, there's people like, Magic Johnson, old Magic Johnson, basketball hero. I hate to say it, but he's not as nice as you think he has tons of money and he don't need any more. But when they said like, hey, they Lahaina'd you, in other words, they burned you out like they burned out the people in Hawaii, so that way big property investment groups can come in and buy that land because you can't afford to rebuild. Guess who's right there next to Gavin Newsom willing to buy the properties? Magic Johnson and his financial groups want to buy the properties. And that's pretty sad. That's really sad. And he's backing Karen Bass. So that just tells you right there. Some of these movie stars backing Karen Bass, it doesn't matter to them. Nothing affects them. They live behind big walls. Doesn't matter. But for the regular people, it matters a lot. And this guy is killing it. And here's this guy has a show. It's called Officer Tatum. He's a dude. He's got a radio show. And here's his perspective on Spencer Pratt. And again, I'm giving you different perspectives. I want you to keep your eye on this, because this is going to be the stepping stone that people are going to start following. I promise you that it starts with one. And then there's going to be another city that's going to get fed up with all the crap, and they're going to do the same thing, because who doesn't want a decent life? And these people in office, they're not going to do it. They're not going to give it to you. But this is it's from the Officer Tatum show. I can't remember his first name, but last name is Tatum. He was an ex-cop. Here you go.
How does he not win L.A.? Spencer Pratt is finna say something in this interview that every single person in L.A. know to be true. But because tribalism and culturalism, or whatever you want to call it, racism, they don't want to listen to this man. Everybody you talk to in L.A. will say the same thing he say. Roll the clip.
What are your plans for the over 40,000 homeless in Los Angeles?
Yeah, they're not homeless. They're drug addicts. Most of these people are addicted to fentanyl and meth. This isn't Spencer making it up.
Are you saying they don't have homes?
There is places for all of these people to sleep in LA. No matter what anybody tells you, we have housing and shelter for everyone that's living on the street. They're choosing to be on the street because they want to do drugs. They don't want rules. They don't want to listen. They want to have animals to abuse. This idea that they're forced on the street right now is a lie that our city is perpetuating. We've paid $24 billion to house these 40,000 people. There's spots for all of these people. They are choosing because they're an addict, and you can do fentanyl and sewer meth on the sidewalk with no repercussions.
It's going to take time to build the facility and money.
No.
How fast do you think you can do it?
These people can literally, I went to Washington and I saw miles of the most insane prefabricated housing and building. I asked all the CEOs of these companies, I said, how long does this take? I met with FEMA and HUD, 3 days. 3 days. And all of this is cheaper than trying to take over, kick senior citizens out of their buildings. Is what happens. They kick them out, and then the NGOs come in and they spend 4 years. This is LA. This is LA's timetable.
Where is this facility going to be?
It's on beautiful federal land property.
Where, in LA County?
Well, when I'm mayor, I'll go meet with the federal government and I'll get the property. Right now, I'm just running, so I can't give you the exact address because I don't have the legal responsibility to go represent Los Angeles and say, can I have this land? But when I'm mayor, I promise you, because we have the Olympics coming and everybody in the government wants LA to be the #1 most beautiful city, they will work with me to give me the land I need.
Come on. How y'all not vote for that man? Karen Bass won't say nothing that he said. Why? They really don't have a plan, and they want to play politics instead of doing what they're supposed to do. They should be doing the right thing by your tax dollars, but they will not do it. These people on the side of the road, when you drive by and you look at them, it's not people just on the side cooking ramen noodle in a thing and just trying to live their life. Hey, how you doing? We just don't have a home. It's people slumped like this. I seen people laying all the way back. They look like alphabet. People laying like, some people make it an L shape, laying like this, high, out of their mind, leaning. That's not homeless. People are using drugs. Spencer Pratt is correct. You out here committing crimes, you're gonna go to jail. That's a night to stay. You won't be homeless after that. You'll be in jail. You'll have a home in prison. All these people that, like he said, they want to do all this, get all the government assistance. Let these leftist states and cities accept them in. They go to Seattle. They'll go to Portland. They'll go to all these places and run their cities down amok. And California be clean. Let me give you this example, and I'm gonna move on. I was in Miami. Why in Miami Beach is there no homeless people everywhere? Homeless people have been making a killing out there. Why isn't no homeless people on the streets? I think I seen 1 or 2 homeless people the whole time I was in Miami for the 3rd time I went to Miami. Why? Because they're doing exactly what Spencer Pratt said he's going to do.
I'm telling you. You watch what's going on. This is going on, and and a lot of the people that were wealthy, that were in the entertainment industry, live in Pacific Palisades as well. And they voted Democrat all the time. And again, Spencer Pratt isn't really Democrat, isn't Republican. He just wants to clean up the city. But these people that are hell bent to keep the crooks in office, it's because they don't want to lose the game. It's the same thing going on throughout the whole country, but this is going to be the start. We're going to start taking off heads on the West Coast, including Gavin Newsom. He's getting ready to get railed because they're looking into all the money that's disappeared over there. That's for sure. That's for sure. Here's Adam Carolla. I love Adam Carolla. I've been listening to Adam Carolla for many, many years. I am Adam Carolla's show ready. I want to be on his show. Actually, I want him on my show because there's a lot of stuff I got questions for him. He's just this a matter-of-fact guy that I just like hearing him, and I want to talk to him. It's like we've crossed paths a couple of times, but that's a whole different story, and I'm going to save it till one day when I'm in front of him because I got a lot of stuff to talk to him. But this is what's going on, and I want to get his opinion because, again, he puts it pretty much into perspective. Okay, let's just put it that way. So here, check it out.
I mean, if I lived in Los Angeles, no question whatsoever, I would vote for you.
People go, Spencer Pratt, what's that guy know about running Los Angeles? What does he know about governance? What does he know about running a major city? What does he know? He's a reality star. And my answer is, I don't give a f***. He doesn't have bad ideas. There's like two ways you can govern. There's three options. There is the way I would like, all right, potholes and red light arrows and traffic and all the stuff, homelessness or whatever. Then there's another way you can govern. You can be inept and just kind of be like, I don't know anything about fixing potholes or whatever. But then there's a third category, which is I like potholes. And that's what we got now. We have a bunch of Marxist, socialist that are tearing this place down. And so it's basically like saying, who would you like to decorate your home? And I would say the finest decorator with the most exquisite taste in the land. And then you'd go, okay, what about a person that had no experience decorating? I'd go, well, I don't know, maybe it'll work out. Maybe they'll still pick out a nice sofa, All right, what about a horrible, destructive decorator? It's like, no, that's going to f*** my house up. So I don't want that person. Yeah, but the horrible, destructive decorator has a lot of experience. And I'd go, I experience f***ing up people's houses. I'll take anyone off the street over Karen Bass or over Nithya Raman.
Mm-hmm. I've heard this 3 times already. People go, you mean the guy from The Hills, the guy from the reality star? Well, yeah, of course he wasn't mayor material back in 2001 when he was filming this.
By the way,
he grew into it.
First off, I've seen what all the politicians with all the pedigrees are up to. They're f***ing shit.
Mm-hmm.
Half of them are lawyers. Half of them went to an Ivy League school, and they're Oh, Nithya Raman. Nithya Raman went to Harvard, and she's f***ing retarded. She's a democratic socialist that got her brain scrambled in Harvard. And you want to let her loose on the city? I'd rather have a dude who just grew up skimboarding in Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm the dude. You want the dude from The Man Show? I don't care. Everyone's from somewhere. Everyone did something. These people are actively destroying Los Angeles. They're actively doing it. I'd rather have a guy with zero experience.
And once again, Adam Carolla makes a good point. I like Adam Carolla. I don't know if not everybody knows who he is, but he's big enough. But I got one more Adam Carolla clip because, again, I like the way he puts things into perspective. And especially this clip, because everybody's taking my motto. They've taken my motto and they're running with it, and with good reason, because it makes perfect sense. But here's one more about how, I hate to say it, but the Democrats in Los Angeles have just screwed up the whole city and the state. And the only reason I say Democrats is because those are the ones in charge for years. So here's Adam Carolla one more time, putting in his well-versed 2 cents. There you go.
The Democrats have been running L.A. for over 20 years. So whatever problem you say is an old problem is on you and your party. So you can go, who should we blame it on? Garcetti from a number of years ago? Or should we go back to Antonio Villaraigosa from 2009? Like, how far back do you want to go? Because it's all your party. Mm-hmm. So basically what you're saying is your party is not good at running things because you're saying LA's a piece of shit. We got a lot of problems and it's broken. I need a second term to fix it. I need a second term to fix the shit I couldn't fix in the first 4 years. So here's your argument. We need me to fix the shit I couldn't fix in 4 years. Not the shit I couldn't fix in 6 months or 14 months. The shit I couldn't fix in 4 years, you need me. And by the way, I didn't break the city. The city goes back and was broken for the last 20 years, although my party's been in charge that entire time. People I endorse and people I work with and people I have lunch with are all the people that fucked up your city. You do the fucking math. You work it out. You tell me how this is going to work and why I should vote for you. Well, Spencer Pratt has no experience. No experience fucking up cities? Because that's all I got from you. And you trying to go back a decade still puts you smack dab in the middle of your party fucking up this city. So shut the fuck up. Thank you. And even though I'm running unopposed, that's why I need your vote.
Like I said, he has the key phrase right there, and I can't say it enough. Shut the fuck up. There you go. So don't forget for that right there. Shut the fuck up. It's the way to go. I think that is the key to life. When you're screwing up and you're going beyond your extremes and beyond your knowledge base, you just need to know when to shut the fuck up. Right there by Peter G. Available at fine bookstores. Anyway. So, I love Adam Carolla. Again, I don't think you can put it in any better saying the way he said it. They're destroying everything. You're going to down this guy. This guy, Spencer Pratt, is going to the people who know things, and you gather up good people. You put together a team. Do you think the owner of the football team, he can't do it? He's got to get good players. The problem with Los Angeles, the problem with California, the problem with our Congress is we got shit players now. They've all turned it into a gambling, scheme. Sucks. They're all lining their pockets. Time to start a new team. Both sides. Now, there are a few good ones. But the majority of them, I'd say, I'd say 80% have to go. They just got to go because you get in there and then all of a sudden the new guy comes in, the older ones come in and go, listen, I know you want to do good and this and that, but if you want to be a team player, you need to listen to what we say and do, and you'll be fine. And a lot of them, you could fight City Hall. It's a couple of them, Tim Burchett, God bless him. He's a congressman of Tennessee. He's fighting day and night. He's constantly posting videos bitching about how they're caving and how corrupt it is in there. And he has to go face these people every day. Let me quickly introduce you to Karen Bass. For those of you who are not in LA, for those of you who are anywhere else in the country, anywhere else in the world, to see just who she is, because these are facts and these are documented facts. I'm not bringing any hearsay. I learned about this ages ago, and now I'm just going to have a reporter actually report the truth. And you need to learn about the current mayor of Los Angeles because she is a hot, steaming piece of shit. And she gets to run Los Angeles. I knew when she got elected, we were in trouble. Every year we just keep going worse and worse and worse. And she got elected because she's in cahoots with all the crooks in the state. She's right under Gavin Newsom and all his cronies. They all work hand in hand. Here you go.
Desiree Townsend here at Capitol Hill with the story of Karen Bass and her ties to communist Cuba and to a 1983 bombing that happened here at the nation's capital, which was intended to kill members of the Senate. In 2020, The Atlantic put out a well-researched article about Karen Bass, who was at the time being considered as the VP running mate for Joe Biden. As Biden was vetting her as his potential running mate, they discovered that in the 1970s, Karen Bass worked in Fidel Castro's Cuba within the Vencerramos Brigade. An October 1975 issue of the Communist Daily World newspaper described Karen Bass, who was 22 at the time, as the leader of the Venceramos Brigade in Southern California. The Venceramos Brigade was founded in 1969 in part by the Cuban government. Bass would travel to Cuba numerous times for training within this brigade. Karen Bass's work in Cuba actually drew the attention of the Los Angeles Police Department in 1983 when it was discovered a 1973 LAPD intelligence document describing Bass as a leader within Venceramos, which was alleged to train revolutionary prone Americans in terrorist tactics and guerrilla warfare, all while claiming to harvest sugarcane. Then on November 7th of 1983, around 10:58 p.m., a bomb exploded in the Capitol's north wing. Luckily, the senators who were expected to have been working late into that night actually adjourned early as the proceedings went smoother than expected. Had they not adjourned earlier than expected by the public before the bomb detonated, many senators would have died that evening in 1983. It was later discovered that the attack was perpetrated by M19, with one of its earliest members being Susan Rosenberg, having also traveled to Cuba to train within the Venceramos Brigade. In fact, a documentary filmmaker by the name of Errol Weber claimed that in the 1970s, Karen Bass made approximately 15 trips to Cuba, where she trained alongside future members of M19 and the Weather Underground, two domestic terrorist groups. However, I was not able to independently verify these claims. The controversy involving Karen Bass's associations with and sympathy for Cuba as a youth continued into 2016 when she faced controversy after releasing a statement stating that the passing of the Commandant en Jefe as a great loss to the people of Cuba. Based on all the evidence of Karen Bass's ties to communist Cuba, the allegations of fraud in Los Angeles, and the protection of illegal immigrants in LA, including those with potential ties to communist allies in Iran, we should all be watching this year's mayoral race very carefully. Desiree Townsend reporting from Capitol Hill.
That's pretty much Karen Bass. Now, I know that when you're young, you could do stupid things and you can change. But she really hasn't changed. She's a piece of shit. And Nithya Raman Noodle, her councilwoman of the Valley and parts of Los Angeles, another piece of crap. They're all pieces of crap, and they huddle together because it's that they try to make a nice, wealthy piece of crap and smile at you. And we got to get rid of these people. I'm not even in LA anymore. It doesn't concern me anymore, but it does concern me because it's part of this country. It's a model that if Spencer Pratt can get in there and really stick to his guns, which I believe he will. I just believe he will. Enough is enough. I think it's time for change, and that will encourage other cities for people to step out and start taking over and kicking all these bad actors out of the whole thing. This is a little wrap up of California, because California is just, again, it's so awful. But just one last video about that, and then we'll move on. But Spencer Pratt's killing it. And Tuesday, going to the polls, I not only hope that he wins the primary, I hope he wins the primary like off the charts, sending a message like, you guys are gone. Even if you cheat, you can't stop us getting rid of all your pieces of crap. Getting out. It's horrendous. Here you go. This is the last one, wrap up for California, because California needs cleaning up, as all these cities and states do. Here you go.
You know, I'm not sure if Spencer Pratt can become mayor or if Steve Hilton can be governor, but something is changing when even my most liberal friends now acknowledge how insanely corrupt California is. We've become the laughingstock of the country. And just look at the three biggest scams going on right now. First, you have the high-speed rail. In 2008, they told us it would cost $8 billion and be done by 2020. It's now 2026. They've burned through $20 billion, and there's not a single mile of track laid. All of it stolen. The way it works, the Democratic machine takes taxpayer money, hands it to their contractor friends, the contractors pocket the money, then kick some of it back to the same politicians so they can stay in power. It's one big, beautiful, broad flywheel. And it's the same story with homelessness. California spent $24 billion in 5 years, and the homeless population went up. The money went to developers, consultants, nonprofits, who again pocket the money and then hand some of it back to the same politicians who gave them the money. And then you get to the fires. Thousands of homes burned down because these morons refused to clear dead vegetation while reservoirs sat empty and fire hydrants had no water. Well-meaning people, myself included, donated hundreds of millions of dollars collectively to help the fire victims, and not a single dollar went to anybody who lost their home. All of the money stolen went to the same NGOs. So will enough people wake up this time? I don't know. Maybe it'll take a few more disasters for people to finally see the light. I guess we'll see what happens.
This is my point. Billions and billions and billions of dollars have been funneled from the scams of the unemployment, $22 billion during COVID, unemployment fraud, the Medicare, Medicaid frauds, the billions, the 20-something billion dollars in homeless money that just gets divvied out to all these NGOs. Show me a whoever runs an NGO that's not a multimillionaire, because most of the money that go to NGOs goes to expenses, and then what's left over, they take care of things. I'm not saying there are some good nonprofit organizations out there, but the ones in California that are running all this stuff, it's again, the kickbacks, getting money. We're going to give you all this money. You're going to give us some back. So we'll have, a strong, treasure chest for our elections and this and that. It's going on all over the country, including in Washington. And this is why they're digging into all this stuff. And this is why it's got to stop. It's our money. Whether you've contributed $100 in taxes or $100,000 in taxes, it's still a lot of money to you and to me. And it's got to stop. And I'm telling you, California right now, even people who are dead Democratic, voters and this and that have had enough. And I pray to God that Spencer Pratt gets in there just to send the message that, like, the jig is up, folks. You had a long, profitable run. And if you don't end up going to jail, you can't thank your lucky stars. But it's over. It's over. Tuesday is voting day in California for Los Angeles primaries for who can be a mayor, run to be mayor. And I'm praying that Spencer Pratt can get in there and not just win the primary, but blow it off the charts like they've never seen before. Because it's hard in California. It's hard. It's so crooked and rigged, and you don't even need ID to vote. The big joke was we're filling up, we're going to fill up a busload of people. We're going to go to California and we're all going to just walk in and vote because you don't need ID. But I think the people have finally, when they burned down the Palisades, that was the beginning of the end. And now with Spencer Pratt taking the lead and getting in there and really opening up the wound and exposing the cancer, he's showing you what's going on and what's wrong. The things they won't. Cross your fingers. Let's take a little sippy poo here. One more thing we got. Ooh. Can we talk global? Because I need to keep reminding you on things. There's so many screwed up things going on. We got Iran. We got this. We got that. We got Venezuela. We got Cuba. We got gas, we got food, we got inflation, we got this. I don't want you people to forget that the deep, deep globalists have not given up yet to conquer the world and put everybody under one roof. Agenda 2030 that I spoke about a lot last year is not over. Now, let's forget about Agenda 2025, all that bullshit that they were brainwashing all the Trump hate and all that. There's no such thing. There's no Agenda 2025, okay? It's real simple. Where's it at? And you haven't heard anything from those people. This is why, again, I love some of the, there's people I love very much, but they're just echoing what they hear and really don't know a whole lot about it. And then next week, there's a new conflict and they're off that. Where's all my Ukraine? We stand by Ukraine. Where'd that all go? The flags disappeared off of your profiles. Where'd that all go? Why aren't you still standing with them? They're still fighting over there. It's pretty bad. Everybody's forgotten. And that's my point. You get all riled up. They rile you up. You take the bait. You jump on their bandwagon until they decide to throw you onto another bandwagon. I love you, but you need to stop. So Agenda 2030, the globalists, like these are the guys who aren't wanting to get any too much, recognition. They want to stay silent and ride under the radar. Agenda 2030, they still want to, like, again, this hantavirus. What are they going to push next? We're not going for this crap anymore. And they know it because all of a sudden, like, oh, they're not taking the bait. Monkeypox. I saw an old clip from when I talked about monkeypox several years ago. That didn't last long. People were lining up for those vaccines. It's like, stupid. Scare the shit out of you. That's how they do it. Fear tactics. Scare the shit out of you. They're going to try. They're going to try. UFOs. We're going to be attacked by aliens. If we haven't been attacked by now, we're not getting attacked. And if we do get attacked, I wouldn't get too crazy about it because it won't be the aliens attacking us. We'll talk about that when the time comes. It's getting closer. They're running out of ideas. But Agenda 2030, I'm going to play you something. It's a little bit long, but I need you to remember this because we get so taken on to another thing and another thing. Meanwhile, these assholes are still working in the background. They need to be shut down. Your Bill Gates and your Klaus Schwab or whatever the frig his name is, all these, they need to be put down. But they're still there. But we could douse their flame because they're losing. They're losing big time. Trump, stuck a big middle finger to them. But now it's up to us too. He can't carry everything. But he walked with the torch into that place and told them people and countries need to live the way they want to live peacefully. I know we got a war going on, but it's all going to come to terms. There's a reason. Because the people that we're trying to take out right now is not the Iranian people. It's that crazy Islamic regime, those clerics who feel like they're the ones who have to bring end to the world. That's their friggin' prophecies. They're supposed to usher in end to the world. And they're going to do good by all this. You want to trust them with nuclear weapons, huh? It's worth a little bit of sacrifice. Somebody needed to do it. I have videos of every president telling us that they're going to put it, that they are not going to get away with it, and they've done nothing. So this man steps up and does it, and you give him hell. Because, again, you're conditioned. They've conditioned you to not like the man. Again, he's not perfect. Nobody is. But here, Agenda 2030. Check this out. Take this to heart. We can't forget this because it's still in the background, and they're still wanting to take control over everything, the digital ID, all the.
So everything that we saw in Ukraine was planned. Everything that we saw the Agenda 2030 was Agenda 20. It was all planned. It was all paid for. Barack Obama signed this country in 2015 with Samantha Power and Susan Rice onto Agenda 2030, which is a nation-state ending plan for global governance, technocracy, and totalitarian control on a global scale, and trillions of dollars after Obama signed that, went into that being the end game. And all of a sudden Trump wins. So people have to understand the destruction, the coup against the sitting president of the United States, Donald Trump, was a global operation because they had global plans that they were not willing to allow Donald Trump to even look at. And so they kept him tied up in fake, phony investigations that they concocted, a 2-year special counsel with Andrew Weissman, and they knew that everything they were investigating was a lie.
Because they created the lie. They knew it was a lie because they created it all. I mean, that's the incredible part. So, they count on the fact that the American people didn't know because the American people weren't part of that lie. And when you talk about that agenda, 2030, I mean, people have heard of it, but I would urge people to actually look it up and read Agenda 2030 because your description of it is actually the most significant description. It is a nation ending plan. It is the end of sovereignty. It is the end of nations. It's the culmination of decades of the open borders activism of George Soros and his Open Society Foundations, which is in more than 125 countries around the world. And that's why you have all these organizations now, the Animal Rights Federation and so on and so on, who now have to have offices all over the world, right? It's why BLM, the moment they get any money and they get some fame, what do? They get a BLM Policy Foundation. Then they get a BLM Global Foundation. And then you've got, and the same thing happens in this whole network, the Tides Foundation. They have their, then the Tides Foundation announces, we're going to be managing the BLM Global Foundation. What does that mean? You're going to be laundering money. Laundering money and sharing resources with all of these people whose tax-free status is violated on a minute-by-minute basis. But that's okay because we've got the IRS sewn up and we're going to make sure that the IRS never touches you. God help you if you're not on our team because they're coming for you. Anyone who's not on our team, we're coming for you. And once we got Donald Trump out the way, there's nothing between them and everybody else, right? And that was their thing, is that when Trump won, it so upset that plan. And what people forget is that the president of the United States of America is not just the commander in chief. He is the diplomat in chief. And what you touched on was the fact that they were so angry. They have these foreign policy plans. They decide foreign policy and all these bills that they pass. They're like, there's an election coming up in Hungary 5 years from now. But we don't like the rise of these right-wing parties in Hungary. So we're going to allocate 5 years of resources of the United States government to making sure those groups don't rise to power. So it doesn't matter who comes into power in that time. We've already got a foreign policy that extends years beyond that election. And you're going to, and that's why they got so upset when they, what they kept saying about Trump. Remember, that's not how it's done. That's not how it's done. And so that's why this time around, one of the executive orders that Trump signed just after he came into office was for the foreign policy manual to be rewritten. And people hear that and they're like, that's so boring. I want to slip into a coma. But they don't understand that the reason it matters is that when Trump puts people into those agencies like the State Department, which sadly is just another arm of the intelligence agencies, but when he puts them in there, they can't get anything done because everybody says that's not how it's done. Get the manual. Get the manual. Yeah, it's not there. No, we're not doing that. That's not allowed. No. It's not in the manual. That's not how it's always been done. So second time around, Trump realized we have to do something about this. People working for him realized. And you know what, Mel? No rewritten. 90 days they were supposed to rewrite the foreign policy manual and it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
And no one asked Marco Rubio about that.
Yeah, we have to. But the bigger thing about that I was happy about was because the USAID is not aid. It is international capture that they call international development. Mm-hmm. A lot of this stuff goes back to what that time period that I talk about. Even what you're saying about global governance. Like there was a time when I call it the Rockefeller model because, way back with the Reith Commission in the 50s, they were looking into the Rockefeller foundations, the Ford Foundation, Carnegie Institute,
they're all
as subverting
still doing
the will of the people. Yeah.
All of them. Everyone you just listed, they're still the same players.
Yes. And then after they signed Agenda 2030, then you noticed everyone had a global foundation. You know, the Bill Melinda Gates, the Clintons, the Obamas, the McCains, everyone, the Romneys, they're all opening global foundations. Well, why? Because they were preparing for global governance. Against the will of the people. And you brought up something great that I always used to say. I would say to Donald Trump, you know, he'd say, they're not after me, they're after you, and I'm in the way. And I'd say, they're not after America, they're after the world, and America is in the way.
That's
our
true.
Constitution, our Bill of Rights, our DNA, our history, our unity was in the way. So they had to destroy that from the top down, because these people that voted for Donald Trump are not going to have what they want. We have already decided the future of America, and we are going to make that happen and destroy Trump as soon as possible. And honestly, they believe that by now he would have been in jail, and we would have had a very different country, because Kamala Harris and Joe Biden put out a document going into when they were still the candidates for the second term, a global compact and a global cooperation document that literally said in the first sentence that not only was the second Biden term going to lead the world to Agenda 2030, but that they were also going to finance it with $3 trillion to help everyone get in line and be ready so that everyone would achieve it. And that there was a whole document online, and I thought, oh my God, they're not even hiding it.
Global governance. That's what they're still after. And they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. They're going to keep trying. And if they fail now, they'll try again 40 years from now. But we probably should stop them now. They're assholes. And we got to deal with it. And that's the way it is. I just wanted to bring that to your attention again, because I know how easily we get distracted nowadays, but that's still going on in the background, people, and it's absolutely true. So for the sake of your friends, your family, your life, your children, we need to stay vigilant. A lot of people go, well, what are we going to do? Same like what we heard earlier. You can't do, we can't do anything. Yes, we can. If you get loud enough, they don't like when the natives get restless. They don't. Because, again, there's only a handful of them. But they have the money to manipulate everything. But in all actuality, there's only a handful of them, compared to the whole world. There's only 4,000 or 5,000 of these people who think that they are gods. There's billions of us in the world, this country alone. Stand up for your rights, or you won't have any left. That's all I can tell you. I want to remind you, next week, right here, next week I have, on Wednesday, June 3rd, author of the book, Gripping Grace in the Garden of Grief. A lot of G's in there. Peter G. Miss Marcia Earhart, she's a trained educator, certified life, grief, trauma, and mental health counselor. And she also has a foundation to help called the Sterling Rose to help people with grief and all these and trauma and mental health and all of that. She has her own story, and she wrote about it in this book. And I'm going to talk to her about it because grief-stricken people, they take themselves down because of it. And grief is a very powerful, it's not a drug, but emotion. And you don't deserve that, and so you never get rid of things. Things never end. You can't change things, but just learn how to live with these things when it all makes more sense to you. And it takes time. It's not overnight, but she's going to be on the show right here next week, June 3rd, right here. Author of the book, Gripping Grace in the Garden of Grief, Miss Marcia Earhart, is going to be on this show to talk about grief-stricken people and how they help them and deal with trauma and all that kind of stuff, because it's a you know. That's why you're going to want to tell your friends. I promise you, you're going to have somebody that when you're watching this show, you're going to say, so-and-so needs to see this. They need the help. I always said, a story that I bring onto this show, or even my own story or whatever, will help somebody in someone else's life. And your story will help someone else, and on and on and on. Because everybody thinks it's just them, and it's not. Okay? I live by it. That's why I do this show. My whole purpose for this show was to share stories, entertainment, want to have some fun too, want to educate. I've learned a lot. Still learning. And again, I found like some of the most important things in life, especially the motto for last year, knowing when to shut the fuck up. That is the biggest thing I can tell you. That could save a lot of problems right there. And learning to know when to shut the fuck up. Can't say it any better. I said it all last year. I guess I'll be saying it again. But educate yourself. What we got else going on? And that's it. Just a reminder, be kind. Life is short. A lot of stress going on. That is for sure. I hope you got something out of tonight's show. As always, share. That's the best thing you can do for me. Share. I'll be putting out the short clips through the week, some highlights. But I look forward to joining you next Wednesday when we find out how Spencer Pratt did, which I just have a lot of faith. I just don't see how he could possibly lose. I just don't. He's killing it. And he makes sense where his rivals, all they do is talk in circles. They talk in circles. And for those of you who are going to vote for them, have at it. You get what you get what you get. But you won't get it because they're going to be gone. They're going to be gone. It's got to be. Has to be. The time has come. All right? But be kind. You don't know what the person next to you is going through. Sometimes they may lash out at you, family, friends, whatever, strangers. Take a breath before you speak. Just breathe before you speak. Don't snap. And you don't have to be an ass. You don't have to take a lot of crap from people either. Again, life is too damn short. Just be kind. My name is Peter G. I want to thank everybody for watching Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. God willing, we need all the help we can get. Love your family, love your children, do the best you can. We're going to get through this. We will. We need to stick together, though. The division that they're trying to do, that's what the problem is. They want us divided. They want us all at each other's throats. Best thing we could do is to tell them to fuck off. We're family. All right? I love you guys. I really do. Stay out of trouble. Again, join me next week when I have Miss Marcia Earhart on, and we'll talk about her book on grief and trauma and all that stuff. Really uplifting stuff, but it's got to be talked about, okay? It just does. There's people that need it. I'd love to be doing funny stuff all the time, just dying laughing, but there's a lot of people hurting. And if I could bring this to the table and it makes sense to a handful of people and helps, I'm in. All right? Stay out of trouble. I love you guys. See you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. My name is Peter G for the 19th, umpteenth time. I love you guys and peace out.
Peter G Show. Peter G Show. Divorce Dad.